Hey everyone, this is Mick and Say from the Leadership Project. We're coming to you live today with a little bit of a post about a video about 2022 and the year that was. So we're going to reflect a little bit on the things that we've learned about the world and about ourselves this year. And we would love to hear your questions as we go. Now I've got a bit of background noise in the background. There we go. Otherwise, you're going to get us twice. So that's the fun of live streaming, or there's always going to be something that we don't get quite right. So welcome. Thank you for joining us today. We can see that we've already got 7 people joining us and the numbers are increasing. Thank you for your time today. Now, 2022, the year it was, what did we learn about ourselves? What did we learn about the world? Now, here's the tip, is that Say's got a bunch of questions she's going to go through. I don't even know what the questions are, but we're going to use those questions and it's going to act as a surprise to me, but then we're going to have a discussion about each of the questions. So please say hello and let's get started.
Hello everyone. I am sei.spiers. I'm from the Leadership Project. I'm the general manager of the Leadership Project. I'm doing everything for our team, manages the operations and all of what you can do, what you can see and what you can do, everything that yeah, that's it.
And what she's not saying is she's the most supportive and amazing wife in the world as well. So she keeps the Leadership Project humming away, gives the team everything that they need to do what we do and bring you all the content that we do every day and every week throughout the year, where we're looking to empower leaders with all of the knowledge and skills that they need to create amazing teams and amazing workspaces so that people fall in love with their jobs again. So let's go.
Yeah, let's
get us started.
First question. What is the most important lesson you learned this year?
Oh, there's many. So it's been a roller coaster year, an amazing year in some respects. We launched the Leadership Project as a business this year. We did season 2 of the Leadership Project podcast with some amazing guests. And of course, we launched our first book this year, which went on to become a 6-time bestseller and a dual award-winning book called You're a Leader, Now What? So some amazing highs, but then also some really low lows. So becoming an entrepreneur and running your own business is very different to what I had been doing, which was running successful businesses for other people. It's very different when it's your own money and you're sitting there watching kind of the roller coaster of some months would be good, other months there'd be limited revenue, and we needed a lot of resilience to get through that. So the 2 key lessons from that really relate to 2 things that I teach, but I need to practice more myself. So the first one is about emotional intelligence and making sure that I'm ready to be emotionally self-aware of the problems that we're going to come up and be ready for that. To have emotional self-management, to be ready to regulate those emotions in a very effective way. But the big one is something that I teach in my programs, and it's called deep listening. And deep listening, it's the work from Otto Scharmer and his famous book, Theory U, where he talks about 4 different levels of listening. And at level 1, we're really only listening to things that we already know, things that confirm what we already know. And you could say listening to things that you want to hear, or selective listening. There's all kinds of ways that you could describe it. At level 2, you start listening with an open mind and you're truly listening to the people around you. Level 3 is an open heart, listening to the emotion of the situation. And level 4 is listening with an open will so that you can co-create a new reality that is greater than the sum of the parts of the people there. So when you collect yourself with a room full of people, everyone has their experiences, their knowledge and skills to share. And if you are deeply listening, you can co-create something that is greater than the sum of the parts. And what I found myself falling into the trap of throughout this year is listening to things that confirmed what I wanted to hear. I wanted the Leadership Project to be an incredible success and for it to be a skyrocketing business. So I was listening and seeing all of the things that would confirm that. And I was selectively not listening to signals where to go, hey, there's a risk here. You better pay attention to this. And to be very specific, it's you.
Mm.
So I needed to be listening more to you as our general manager. All CEOs out there, listen to this, right? So yes, you've got the vision. Yes, you've got the passion for where you want to get to, but you need to hold space for those around you that are telling you, okay, yep, good, like this, but there's a problem here. We better address this, because the sooner you listen to those problems, the sooner that you can act on it. So my biggest lesson is listen to your wife, listen to your team, and make sure that you're deeply listening, not just hearing what you think you want to hear.
It's a bit long, but the two things that I've heard about emotional intelligence and about the deep listening, and this is what I've been telling you for a couple of months, that you need to listen to me. Sometimes I've been saying something else with you, but you've been okay.
Keep going.
Yeah, I've been telling something else with you for a couple of months, and this is the business research that we are doing. But I think because what you wanted to hear is about the good ones, it's not always the bad ones. You don't like to hear the bad ones, the negative things around the business. It's always the good one, the positive things.
Yeah.
And then because I can tell myself that I'm more on the business side. I'm not a coach. I'm not gonna be a coach that I can coach people personally about themselves, emotionally, lead about leadership, communications, etc. But when it comes to business, I have the vision of I can consult businesses about these things on the good side and the bad side, positive and negative.
Yeah.
And
You've got a great business sense for understanding what's going well and to see where there might be some risks on the horizon that we need to act on now. And what I was doing as this passionate visionary CEO was I was only thinking about the positive, and I wasn't paying enough attention to the signals of, hey, there's some risk here, or we're going to have some cash flow issues. And we did end up with cash flow issues. So big lesson to all leaders out there, even someone that teaches leadership. If you're not careful and if you're not working on your leadership every day, if you're not listening to those around you, you'll end up with a skewed perspective of what's actually really happening in your business, and that's not good for anyone.
And what I've learned about here on having a business, it's to have a wider business.
Yeah.
Like, for example, thinking about something else, that it's not just about stopping you what you wanted to do.
Yeah. Okay. So to put that into perspective for everyone, there's a little bit there around diversity of your business. So diversification of your interest. There is a thing about niching down, which is really important. You need to have clarity about who you serve and what problem you help them solve. So you do need clarity of your niche. But if you put all your eggs in one basket and you do that, then you're going to end up with other problems. So as it turns out, as the year has gone on, we're almost now, doing digital marketing services for other companies. We're doing a bit of consulting. We're not just doing pure what we set out to do at the start of the year.
Yeah.
Now it's your turn. What have you learned this year? What's been your biggest learn?
Oh, so wow. So it's very hard for me to say this, but I think what I've learned is to push more, to push something else, because I've just stopped on telling something else that was on my mind. So I think when I stopped it, and then someone else didn't validate the way I think, I just stopped it, and then I said, okay, I will just go with the flow, etc. I think that's the one thing, the first one that I've learned this year. And the second one, I think, the time management. Yeah. Okay.
So on that first one, I think it's really important to reflect on that for all the leaders out there as well. So what Sei is talking about here, we're talking about a speak up culture. And if you're in a situation where you do have people around you that are trying to tell you things, but it's clear that you're not actually listening or fully listening and paying attention and respecting and thanking them for that opinion, eventually they're going to stop. They're going to stop talking. And I think it's Tim McClure. I might get that one wrong, but I think it's Tim McClure that says one of the greatest fears that any organization should have is when their most passionate people become quiet. And if you're not listening to your passionate people, they will become quiet. they will develop their own limiting beliefs about what they're bringing to the table. And before you know it, you don't have a conversation anymore. And you're in an echo chamber where the only voice in the room is yours, and you're just recycling the same truths or the same perspectives over and over again without listening to the alternate perspectives.
Yeah.
All right. What's next?
Okay. What is the best thing that happened to you this year, aside from this the lesson? But I think I've already heard you about that. Yeah.
The most important thing for me this year is you.
Mm.
This year and every year, the fact that you stay with me through all of our ups and downs, having a team, someone that just supports you no matter what, is amazing. And we got through this year together, and I feel that we're going to use Joel Green statement from his podcast interview on the Leadership Podcast, which is strength through struggle. I feel that we're now stronger from the struggles that we've had this year. So you are always the best thing that's ever happened to me. The second one this year would be the book. So it's been a dream of mine for many years to become an author. We got the book out in May, and within a few days, it became a 6-time bestseller in Amazon. And then by the end of the year, it had won 2 awards at the Self-Publishing Awards. So with the Self-Publishing School. So hi, Chandler Bold, if you're watching this, thank you so much for all of your support. So that was the best thing for me, you and the book. How about you? What was the best thing to happen to you this year?
I think it's about the TLP that I think the best thing that happened to me this year is, of course, having Thomas with us. It's always every year, and then with you by my side. And I think thinking about that, I am with you. Yeah, I'm with you on this journey. That you've already listened to me on what I'm telling you. That's the best thing that happened to me for this year. And then an additional ones, it's about the TLP that we've been doing this business, and then we are still doing it for a couple of months, although we've already have these challenges already that happened to us a couple of months already. But I think that's it. Yeah.
So what you just made me think of is Dr. Ivan Meisner and his interview on the podcast recently. And his latest book is called Who's in Your Room? And all I can say is I couldn't think of anyone better to be in my room than you. And you need people that are in your room that are there for the good times and the bad times, not just those that are fair weather friends that are going to be there when times are good, and when times are bad, they're nowhere to be seen. So think about who's in your room.
Yeah, who's in your room? Yeah.
By the way, while Say gets the next question set up, if you do have any questions, please feel free to pop them in the chat. We've got a slight delay in our feed that we see, but we will get to see your question if you do pop it into the chat.
Yeah. Okay. So the number 3, the next one, what challenges did you overcome?
Oh, wow. So many. A business plan never lasts a day in battle, if you know what I mean. So you need to have that flexibility to be able to pivot and change things when things don't go into plan. So we had examples where we had companies that had multiple students lined up to join some of our cohorts, and we did run multiple versions of our Gateway to High Performance Leadership program this year. But we would have cases where in the days leading up to a cohort starting, we'd have a company that would, for good reason, not to blame them, but for good reason, they would have, 6 students pull out at the last minute, and we would have to quickly adapt and cope with that. So I'm going to say the biggest thing was that the business plan is beautiful on paper, but you need to be ready to adjust when things don't go perfectly to plan for the delivery of your services, but then also the cash flow impact of that money that you're counting on is now delayed. It's going to come 2 months later or longer. So that's probably been the biggest hurdle, the ups and downs. How about you?
Yeah, and those are the challenges that we've had. I think that's the main one. It's the cash flow. When it comes to business, you really need to have it's not just you really need to have lots of things or lots of or your plate that you needed to plan ahead what it's gonna happen, especially we are just a small business. And then we're still trying to make up with this business one, and then what's gonna happen with us if no one is going to do as a service. Good thing we are flexible and very creative on what we are doing, because if not, and we're just gonna stop on doing the leadership project or doing this cohort, just doing these things, we are already nothing.
Yeah, well done. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. What's next?
Oh, okay. Next question.
Yeah, next question. Well, great answer.
Okay. What new skills did you learn this 2022?
Oh, I'm going to say that I learned so much from our podcast guests. And every time we had a podcast guest that came on that challenged my thinking, I would then go off and research that topic even deeper. So it was the ones that piqued my curiosity to the point where I went off and went, okay, I need to know more about this. Started off with Rusty Gaylard at the start of the year, where he was talking about how do you define success? And do we let society define success, or should we be defining our own success? I'm going to say Stephen Shedleski opened my eyes to go deeper into speak up culture and psychological safety. Shed was amazing. He's going to publish a book next year called Speak Up Culture, which I absolutely cannot wait for. I'm going to say Joe Hart made me think about identity and what happens when your identity is challenged, and to think about a famous quote. I'm going to forget who the quote was, but you are not who you think you are. You are not, or I'm going to put it into first person. I am not who I think I am. I am not who you think I am. I am who I think you think I am. And it's all about that identity and how we see ourselves in the world. Dr. Ivan Meisner, having him on the show was a huge highlight as well. Dr. Jeff Bloomfield opened my eyes. I knew him for a number of years, but I still just love talking to him about the psychology of decision making. And off I'd go, I'd research that. Dr. Julie Pham introduced us to the 7 forms of respect. That was so cool. And it made me think about when people have conflict in the workplace, it's usually a conflict around what one person considers respectful versus what another person considers respectful. And then I'm going to say Tony and Alyssa De Lorenzo and the lessons that you can take from one exceptional marriage and the leadership lessons between your relationship with your loving partner versus how you show up as a leader in the workplace. So many, but if I had to pick some highlights, these were all things that made me stop, think, reflect, and go off and insatiable curiosity, research deeper and deeper. How about you?
You've already said everything about it.
Sorry.
I think because when we do have the podcast, you've been learning so many things about them, about those topics, and even on those podcast guests. And I don't want to elaborate or because you've already said everything. But I think the second one that I've learned is about driving.
Oh, yeah. Someone got a license this year and can drive in Manila traffic. Whoa. Yeah.
Driving Manila traffic because I don't have any choice already. And then it feels like I really need to do something else for myself, learning the driving, because if I'm not gonna drive, we don't have any driver. I don't have me besides me to drive with me 24 hours or 7 days a week. My brother-in-law, he has his own, his own job also, personal life, etc. But I was thinking about what I can do if there, just in case there will be an emergency happen, and I needed to do something else, what I can do. So I learned driving. Although it took me a while to drive because also of my time and the timing, because I've also doing this TLP, digital marketing, the book launch, right? And then the book promo, we've been doing lots of things. The house, I have my little boy with me, so it's a lot of things that I needed to manage also my which it's so hard for me to do managing of my time. Yeah, but the driving, I'm already good on it.
So very, very proud of you in relation to learning to drive, from going not knowing how to drive to being a very competent driver in a short period of time, out of necessity, but very, very proud of you. And I'm so proud of you with the book launch. So on the book launch, we did a physical book launch in Tagaytay in the Philippines that had more than 250 people in attendance, 16 different media agencies, including 3 television stations, and sei organized the whole thing with a help of a couple of partners. But she was really the event organizer of a book launch, and she had never done that before. And it was an amazing success. We ended up on a 10-meter high billboard beside EDSA, the busiest road in the Philippines, thanks to our good friend Giselle Calixto and her husband Arman as well. But you just project managed the hell out of that thing. It was amazing.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. I really need to do a publishing services to do everything from the scratch, from printing out the books, to launch it in the Philippines, to distribute it already here. How is it gonna work? So that's why
You got the book distributed to every bookstore in the Philippines, like nationwide. So watch out, bookstores in Australia or bookstore chains in Australia. Sei is coming to your door next year to get our distribution deal done in Australia and New Zealand.
Australia and New Zealand are my 2 target countries. An additional one is Singapore, because we're also have Singapore-based business. Yeah. So we're looking forward 3 countries by next year. Yes, I can do it.
Absolutely. All right, next.
So next, what did you do for your career growth? Career growth or being in a business entrepreneur?
Yeah, good question. So clearly it's a huge pivot to go from managing large and complex businesses for other people, which was what I was doing before January this year, to managing our own small business. So I had career growth there in terms of learning what it means to be an entrepreneur instead of a business leader for someone else. And then the second one, as the year went on, we realized to be successful, we needed to have business partnerships. So that came to people like Negotiation Partners and Matt Lohmeyer and the Lighthouse Group, and our ability to join forces with Negotiation Partners and the Lighthouse Group to then expand our ability to get to more people, to get to more businesses, and to switch from what essentially started very B2C. So we were doing coaching and training courses for individuals to now facilitating workshops for companies. So the switch from corporate to entrepreneur, and then the switch from entrepreneur to business partnerships. That's probably the 2. How about you?
Oh, when we launched the TLP for this year, I have been doing lots of things already for our business. Like, it's not just about for the leadership project, because I did the book launch, book promo, book distribution, digital marketing, everything.
Just talk about
it. Oh yeah, sorry. Okay, so I've been doing lots of things already, and then for being an operations manager to the general manager, right? Yeah, it's lots of things, lots of responsibilities, but I made it as a challenge for me.
Yeah, and you did an amazing job, and you're now the leader of all the team, and you've got people leadership as well as business leadership. So the 3 dimensions of leadership, you've grown so much this year. The 3 dimensions are leading self, leading others, and leading the business, and you've grown in all 3 dimensions this year.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, me. Okay. The next question. What did you enjoy the most?
Of course, we enjoyed the good times. So the highs were amazing. The book launch was just incredible. The press conference at the book launch, becoming a bestseller, getting the awards at the Self-Publishing Awards, all of those things were incredible highs. But the more rewarding is, I'm going to come back to Joel's statement again, strength through struggle. The lows and the lessons that we learned this year were actually more rewarding than the highs. So the highs were fun. The reward and the transformation come from the things that we learned from the struggle and the fact that we did it together, and that we're still here looking at each other in the eyes and smiling despite the fact that it was a tough year.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I think I've enjoyed the most on those ones, and because we have been on to this business that it's a roller coaster ride, and then although because it's a challenge, right, when you're doing this business, and then it's I'm really enjoying thinking about something else on a matter of I think I just really need some personal time for me to think,
Mm.
and then thinking about what should we do with this challenge.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, well done. Yeah, good. So learning from the challenge, stopping, reflecting, not being reactive, which can be a problem. Like you need to be responsive, not reactive. And yeah, we've learned a lot that this
Yeah,
year.
we've been stressed. There are
Stress as well.
it's the stress. We've been stressed on thinking about what I'm gonna do, but then when after that, what I'm gonna do after that stress,
Mm.
those problems, those obstacles, and then we need to think about straight ahead because we have people around us that relying
Yeah.
on us, etc. And then we need to think about what's gonna be the answer to those problems. Yeah.
So very stressful year. And you could say that we've built our resilience muscles this year because we
Mhm.
come through that stress. We're still stressed now, to be honest. We finished the year having come through a lot, but still with that element of stress there. But we're so much stronger and more resilient because of that stress. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Probably got time for one more.
One more. Yeah, it's a bit long. So, what was your favorite moment, Nick?
Favorite moment? Oh, that's so tough. My favorite moments have been you and watching you grow on our YouTube channel. So if you look through our videos, and by the way, we've got all of the outtakes, which are really fun to watch. Watch the way that you've taken hold of the YouTube channel. So for those that don't know, if you look at our YouTube analytics, all of the highest rating videos are the ones that where Say interviews me and asks me lots of challenging questions, etc. So watching your growth on the YouTube channel and seeing the response of the audience, comments like, oh, her beaming smile and she's so natural and beautiful and all this kind of stuff. They've been my favorite moments.
I think for one of my favorite moments was when you're talking in front of the people at the BMI event last September. You were talking in front of them, the way you talk to them, you present yourself. It's really, I was all smiles, and I couldn't. Also, I saw you doing those presentations, but through the Zoom. When I said, "Oh, this is my husband. This is very. It feels very different to me."
That's interesting. Can I make a reflection on that?
Yeah.
I do keynote speeches on stages all around the world, and I've done that for a number of years. Started well before the Leadership Project, but you've never seen me do it.
Yeah, I've never seen you.
Yeah, so this one you were in the audience.
Yeah, yes.
Oh, that's cool.
And I wanted to watch you many times even before, but it's just that I think it's because it's outside the
it's usually somewhere in another country.
Also I'm on another country and wanted to watch you, and you've been inviting me to watch you over and over, and I was like, no, I'm gonna be here, I'm a bit busy. But that time when I was watching you, wow, it's very different for me. It's Mick Spiers, and the way you present, you don't need any scripts. No. Nothing. It's impromptu. It's a impromptu speech. It's all over your head. It's the way you're hot, the way you speak. That's it. Everything.
I do prepare, but I don't have a script.
Yeah.
So I prepare my topic and I make sure I'm ready to go. I prepare how do I want people to think? How do I want them to feel? What do I want them to do? I think about the key message, and then everything else is extemporaneous. I just get on the stage and talk from the heart.
Yeah. That's it.
All right.
It's been a long live stream already. It's been 30 minutes.
No, I'm gonna steal the stage. I'm gonna ask one more question here. What are you most excited about in 2023?
I'm gonna tell to everyone that I think I'm excited that I'm really gonna join you by next
Australia.
year in Australia. So for everyone that we're gonna ask us questions, we're gonna move to Australia in a couple of months.
Sorry. Sorry. Keep going. Thanks, Toby.
Okay, I think yeah, I'm very excited, and it's a different country for me, but I think it's because it's very different to do business here in the Philippines, to do like online business here in the Philippines. It feels that you've been working so hard, but then it's the process, the things that you will able to do here in the Philippines is very different. Unlike when we were in Australia, that Mick is already know the market, really knows how to do the proposal. Although I've been gonna help him to do those things, to do our business, but then it feels that we're gonna be more successful because I'm very passionate. I'm very passionate on doing this business. I'm very good on doing the digital marketing, to be creative on those things that I'm very good on problem solving. That the moment that I get stressed, I'm gonna be stressed on this moment. I really need time for myself. I really need to think. I'm very stressed, but after a couple of hours, okay, I'm gonna present something else for Mick. That Mick, I really wanted to do this. You can do. I wanted you to do this. You need to do that. That's the time that you're not listening to me few months ago. I know, in the first few months, the first quarter of this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to 2023 listening more. So definitely looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to my new microphone stand that Toby Holmes is going to send me. So thank you, Toby, and thanks for the comment. Great to see you. I hope things are going well for you and your family. I'm looking forward to the move to Australia as well, where we all settle in the one location, because we've been separated for the last few months whilst I've been working in Australia and you have remained here. So I'm looking forward to that as well. I'm also looking forward to being a little bit more flexible in 2023. So many things happened in 2022 that we didn't expect, that I need to be less rigid about the business plan, still intentional about what we're trying to create, but more flexible on how we do it, so that we're ready to go with the flow and make the most of what happens, right? So we're going to continue to work on the business. We're going to continue to work out, well, what do we need to do that's different, and keep on building still around our purpose of empowering leaders with all of the knowledge and skills they need to create amazing teams and amazing workspaces, so that people fall in love with their jobs again, but to be flexible about how we might achieve that, including things around the business partnerships, including around maybe doing some more consulting work and doing more marketing work for other leadership businesses and the like. So I'm looking forward to that. And just to close us out, I want to say a big thank you to everyone that's followed us this year. The audience has grown incredibly this year. It's really dramatically increased as the year has gone on. So thank you so much for your support. You're the reason why we do this. We don't do it because we like the sound of our own voices. We do this because we want to have an impact for you. So thank you so much to everyone that listens to the podcast, to everyone that bought the book, to everyone that watches the YouTubes or these live streams. Thank you so much. And then the biggest thank you is to our team. My biggest thank you is to you, Say, but for our team, it's to Faris Sadek, to Joanne Gozon, Rika Fernandez, and Gerald Calabo. We couldn't do what we do if it wasn't for your amazing support. And we thank you so much for a great 2022 roller coaster, but great 2022. And we look forward to an amazing 2023 with you. And to everyone out there, we hope that you also now take the time to stop, reflect, and think and celebrate what you achieved in 2022, and then start thinking about what 2023 might look like for you as well.
Yeah.
Any closing remarks?
Oh wow! Happy New Year's to both of you. Looking forward to seeing what magic stands out.
Thank you, Toby. All right, Happy New Year to you as well.
Happy New Year! Thank you for watching, everyone. Thank you everyone for all of the people who followed us, like our Facebook page, and even me and even me. I'm very thankful for that. I believe that 2023, been a roller coaster ride for us. But then without those roller coaster and without those problems, I think we're not gonna be like here in front of you, still talking to you guys. So I'm very thankful for all the things that happened within 20. It's been learning lesson for us this 2022. It's been, there is still some highs. Yes, there will still be highs and lows, but we're celebrating those things. Yes. Thank you. And thank you so much. And yes, additional one, we're looking forward for the 2023. We're going to open up our additional business, my publication services here, publishing services here in the Philippines. I'm going to open it up. And then, I'm vlogging because I'm gonna open up my travel agency again in the future, but it's more on the group ones because I'm traveling. I do have my own travel agency before the pandemic, but pandemic hits, boom, no more travel agency, no more travels for 2 years. But then right now people are already excited to do the travels. But I think because many people are already asking me about this travel arrangements, travel groups, travel consultancy. So yeah, I'm gonna be opening it and then doing the digital marketing services as well in the future. Yeah, it's 2020.
Lots of exciting things for you in 2023, Say, and I know that you're going to be successful in all of them. So all right, everyone, happy holidays.
Yeah.
Stay safe and happy new year. And we look forward to seeing you all in 2023 and join us again then as we learn together and lead together. One thing I will say, watch out on the podcast. I did an interview last week with a 9-time Emmy award-winning news anchor and journalist. So I can't wait to share that episode with you early in the new year. So have a great year. See you in 2023 as we learn together and lead together. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.